Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. This week I have an email from a woman who says, I was going out with a 30-year-old guy for 2 years. 6 months ago, he went to another city to be with his family. I was going through a rough patch with my personal stuff. I was moody and fighting with him about silly things, so yes, interest level plummeted. I find that most fights are actually over silly things. And as I've mentioned before, fighting will lower interest level. Okay, continuing. He came back and dumped me and still tried contacting me to be friends. I went no contact indefinitely. Perfect. A month later, I realized he had met a new girl while he was away and was dating her because she was better than me. Now, hold on. She was better than you how? And you know that she was better than you how? You're making a lot of assumptions. I'm not saying she was necessarily better than you, but his interest level in her was higher than his interest level in you. That's really all you can conclude. You can't say that you think that someone is better than you because you don't know her. And you can't really compare yourself to another person anyway, and you shouldn't be. So let's forget this notion that she was better than you. Okay. He told his friend that he wants to keep in contact with me because he still has feelings and might want to come back if the new thing fails. Interesting. So that means his interest level is probably very close to 50. But it was enough below 50 that he was able to break up with you and date someone else. And finally she says, am I crazy to think we had a good thing going that can be fixed because I've realized my mistakes? No, you're not crazy. You're normal. You're human. It hurts that he's with someone, of course, but I keep hoping that one day he might realize what we had and come back. Should I let it go completely? So I always laugh when I see that question. Should I let it go completely? And I get this question also a lot on my video on YouTube, how to easily get your ex back. When someone has been dumped, so to speak, and they ask the same thing. And that's not necessarily the best question to ask because my response is always going to be as opposed to what? As opposed to stalking them, as opposed to forcing them to be with you. And when I asked actually someone, as opposed to what, they said, as opposed to trying to have a relationship. Yes, but the person already told you they don't want to have a relationship with you. So why are you trying to have a relationship with someone who doesn't want to have a relationship with you? And even if I were to say, yes, just let go, you're not going to do it. Hope is the last to die. I see that with my coaching clients. No matter what's going on, they do not want to let go until months and months down the road, and then they finally realize, okay, I'm over it, I'm moving on. So if you want a better quality of life, it starts with asking better questions. And asking, should I let it go completely, is not the question to ask. The better question, and I'm not scolding you, everyone does this, it's about asking better questions. The better question to ask is, how should I handle this situation if I want to get back with him at some point? You're already doing the right thing. No contact is perfect. It's good that you know that he still is interested, even though he's currently seeing someone else. He may have just had it. I'm sure there were other things that led to the decline in interest besides just the moodiness, although that certainly doesn't help. I see that a lot. People say, well, I was going through something and I wasn't myself. I was difficult, fighting, moody, blah, 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 and they broke up with me. And the thing is, no matter who you're with, you're always going to be going through something. There's always going to be things coming up. So are you going to fight and be moody every time you're quote-unquote going through personal things? And I'm talking to everybody listening, not just to the woman who wrote in. Or are you going to figure out how to deal with things so that you're the same person no matter what comes up? Because we can't continue to take things out on the people closest to us and expect their feelings to remain the same. So in the meantime, this is actually good because this is more like a break. You can work on yourself to figure out what it is you need to do and who it is you need to become so that when there are things going on with your, as you say, personal stuff, that you're not moody, and even if you are, you don't fight with your partner, you don't take it out on them. If you can't control your moods, which I understand when you're younger you can't, that's the great thing about being older, you can control your moods, then you know to stay away from that person. If you know you're going to be difficult, you're going to fight, then it's like, okay, you know what? Let's just stay away from each other for a few days or whatever it takes, because I don't want to do something or say something that's dumb. So it takes two to tango. It takes two to contribute to a breakup. It's not like one person is perfect and the other person just decides, well, I think I'll just break up with them. That doesn't happen. So everyone has to work on themselves, has to pull the weeds out of their garden, so to speak. So take this time to work on yourself in every way that you need to, so that when he does contact you, and I think there's a very good chance that he will, because of what he told his friend, then you won't be the same person. Because if you're the same person and you get back together and he's the same person, then you're going to have the same outcome, another breakup. So don't be the same person. That way when you go back, you have a much better chance of staying together. So if you have any questions or comments about this, or if you're interested in private coaching, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.